Hey everyone, welcome to Tea Time with Amy and Bev. We're back.
We're back. Howdy.
Here we
So
are again.
here we are again. Yesterday we had to take a dog to the vet. And he's like 114, 117 pounds, and he doesn't like to go for rides. So I'm
Mm,
here and I'm outside picking him up to put him into the vehicle because he lumbers around. He's like kind of a rhino in a lot of ways, but I'm trying to get him into a truck and he's like not going for it. So I lift him up and get him in the truck. I'm like, "You're getting in the truck." And then I close the door and I walk away and I'm like, oh shit, messed up my back. My
oh
little
no.
So it's funny because I'm only bringing it up. I haven't looked at the book or anything like that, but I'm bringing it up because if I would walk up a hill or down a hill, it actually creates more of a problem. So I couldn't do really anything yesterday after that stuff done. It's like I had my granddaughter. It's like, no, we're not going to be doing much of anything unless I'm sitting. And then for me to get up, I look like I'm 115. I'm like trying to get up and move around because it's that low back area, and trying to figure this stuff out and taking all the pills and all the things that I know to do 3D, right? Not doing any of the other stuff, not meditating into the space, not breathing into it. It's a lot better today. Excuse me. I slept really good last night though. So when I woke up today, that rest and stuff helped. So it's to acknowledge and take the time to do these things, but it's still lingering a little bit today. So today I'll probably take the time to look at it, but it's so easy for us, even though I have all that knowledge, to skip over doing those things because you can get so sidetracked by the pain. And really, if I would have stopped for a few minutes, and I was talking about the last video, talking about seeing, being in awareness, observing myself as I'm going through these things, observe myself as, oh, Bev's having, as the third party person, really, like Bev's having this problem in her low back and like what's going on. I didn't ask any questions, but I didn't do any of that stuff because I got sidetracked by it hurting. I got frustrated. Because I want to do things and I started going back to the gym and I'm doing good. Like I'm focused on this stuff and I'm in a different space because I'm doing things for me. I'm doing things. What do I want to do? What do I like to do? And so I'm doing those things and I'm listening to that part, but I just wasn't listening to the part of why I was hurting. And of course, at the time, I'm like, why am I hurting? Like, why is this going on? Getting into that space, like I'm doing good and I'm going to the gym and I'm doing all this stuff. And it's like, then it kind of threw me back. But the reason I bring it up is because we can go back into those old patterns so easily, but we don't stay there. And for me, I can sit and look at it. Now, I don't know, it was a short-term thing. But I'm at that place today where I'm thinking about it. I don't know why it never even crossed my mind, but it's good for us to connect with people that we know are on a vibrational frequency that's going to give us good information, good, valuable, uplifting, and or even just listen like I'm talking to you now. And I have my answers to my own situations. I have the responses that are already coming in. We just had to be open to be in that space, and maybe that's where it's a plus too when you're talking to someone, talking to your peer and you're being able to ask a question without even having to think about the answer, and the answers are allowed to drop in. Even though you give me information too, or you might mention something during anything. Spirit knows what we need to hear when we need to hear it.
Well, it's interesting when you said this is the word you used exact. You said it kind of threw me back. And then I was like, oh, what is she getting thrown back into? What right? So however we process that, but man, as soon as you
Yeah.
said that, I was like, ooh,
No, throwing him in, getting him in, like you're going in this truck no matter what. Like I'm
oh,
gonna
are you
put
being
you in there.
controlling, Bev?
Just a little bit, just, just a lot of it.
I
And then
know.
it's like I couldn't get it out of the way. It's like I felt fine when I was sitting, but when I go to stand or do anything, then would be a situation. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well, I went to work today and stuff and was able to see people. Like I said, I woke up feeling a lot better, but it is to pay attention to all that stuff. It is to stop and breathe into it. I know all this. I have the tools. I have the tools, but I wasn't doing the follow through on it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I went through the day, so I just kind of took it easy and
I've done the same thing. As soon as something gets your attention, that well, pain, like it's very direct and really gets your attention. Our immediate process, oh, that hurts and I need to ease it. And our programming is immediately the man-made stuff. I just saw a thing on social and it said, we'll take we will take manufactured pills and or things and put them in our body, but we need to research nature, natural medicines.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's like, look how programmed we are to just automatically grab that bottle to ease the pain instead of maybe meditation, or maybe it's a journaling and processing the emotions, or maybe it's a essential oil, or maybe it's an herb. We weren't raised that way. We were raised to depend on the external of somebody else to tell us what's wrong with us, so then they have the power to fix it. We don't have that power, and that is completely a fallacy.
It's completely.
Yeah.
Because no one can really tell you better. There's a lot of stuff out there, and I'm not saying that this stuff's bad, but our bodies can, let us know this might be the path of least resistance to go this route or whatever, but you're 100%. And so my other thing that I did on my back, put on my back this morning and last night too, was magnesium cream, right? Because it's to help relax the muscles anyways. It helps you to sleep better at night. Do your own research. I'm not giving out any medical advice.
Right.
But it's like there's all this information out there. Yeah, and I tell people to research because you hear about all kinds of junk that's out there that's in the vaccinations or shots that people might get, and there's just a lot. I'm not going to go down that route.
Yeah.
But
well, I know I shared not too long ago in a video about Dr. Living Good, who I've been following, and he started popping up on my, when I listened to podcasts on YouTube, he started popping up on my feed because he had paid advertisement on his video, and I just kept ignoring it, because I wanted to get back to my podcast. You're interrupting my podcast here, man. So so for 4 years, his ad would pop up and he's talking and I, hit the skip. No, I'm not listening to you. I want to listen to my podcast. And I finally listened to it. Man, he's got a lot of great information. He's got so I'm just saying that as a resource. That's who I've been following. But one of the things he did is he found out that fish oil, omega-3, if it's in a very good quality, and you can take a certain dosage and it actually works just as good as a Tylenol or a ibuprofen or something like that. And he worked with one of the best, I'm going to say scientists. I don't think he's called a scientist, but anyway, one of the best people around who knows about omega-3s and stuff. And they created a formula that also included turmeric, and he provides that through his store. And so I've been learning quite a bit from him, just in using natural products to help. I just listened to him this morning about doing a liver cleanse, colon cleanse, urinary tract cleanse. Like, he has all these processes and stuff, very simple to do. Lots of support in doing them, and I've been really enjoying listening to him. You can find him on YouTube. It's Dr. Living Good, and he said that is actually his real name, is Living Good.
nice.
But he's a doctor, and he was in the regular medical field, and he didn't like what he was seeing, and how, just like we talked about, we just automatically he calls it a sick care system, not a health care system. So let's just put it that way. They want you to stay sick. for obvious reasons. We're not going to go down that path, but he started recognizing that is not how he wanted to help people. He wanted to empower people. And so he really teaches you how to use natural stuff to do that. And then he's also created product that contributes to a healthy lifestyle. So that's a plug for Dr. Living Good. No, I'm not getting anything for this. I'm not an affiliate. I'm not going to get any kickbacks or anything. I just know I've been enjoying it. He also has like an exercise routine to help burn fat quicker. And it's pretty interesting the way he's simple to understand and learn from. And I've been enjoying it a lot. So anyway, that's my 2 cents for Dr. Living Good.
Anytime we can get information that seems like it's more balanced with our body, our makeup, our spirituality. It's not because it's not just the body, it's all of it.
Yeah.
And so it's like I bless my water, I bless my food, I do it with the dogs when I'm feeding their food. I bless their food before I hand it to them. It's like there's so many different things that we can be doing, just maintaining it and raising our vibrational frequencies. I've been listening to it's funny, a little while ago I had in meditation I was given like this orb. It was probably like about this big because I was asking about an alternative to our electricity and stuff like that, and how it could, something. I was talking to spirit and like, how could this take care of everybody? Like how could it maintain a group of people in their own homes and everything else and not have to worry about any of this stuff? Or, what can we do? And it's like, that was what was shown to me. I was like, what am I going to do with this? Like, what can I do with that? Okay, thanks. Where can I buy that? That's my mind. Where can I buy that? Where can I get it? So I just kind of blew it off a while ago. Well, then I started asking questions. It was either last night or the night before that I asked specifically, like, hey, you guys actually showed me this orb when I asked you about energy, and that would be free and it would power up a lot of places and everything else. Like, how? And before I wasn't asking the questions, how, how can that happen? Can I have something here? Do we build it by energy? And then it's like, then this morning I wake up and one of the girls sent me a message. One of my gals sent me a message with this thing listening to talking about hertz, frequencies and light. So sound and light and how it's all frequency and how one mix, operates off the other and how it can change and heal and how every single thing has its own vibrational frequency. Everything does, even with inside of our bodies, like our livers have a different frequency than our kidneys. That's why they're in two different shapes. Like there's all these different things that are going on inside of our body. And then even versus mine versus yours, so it's like all these things and talking about healing, and it's like, huh. So it's interesting on the path because now it's guiding me more into an energy space. But it's funny because how the information's starting to come up now. I don't have anything cool right now to show you guys. I'm not going to be able to rub my hands together and show you guys this big orb and then watch, so you guys can watch everything like operate on it. Not yet. But it's like, it's to be in a space I'm always asking for the greater good, right? To serve the greater good, because it's for all of us. It's not something that's a commodity. It's not something, it's just not something, it's something everybody should have. Doesn't matter about where they're at, what type of environments they live in. Everybody should have this free energy, this, whatever it's going to be. And we'll see what happens in the future. Maybe somebody's already been working on something, but that's the way it's supposed to be. It's, when you think about it, they charge you for the sun by using the solar. They charge you for water. Water is freaking produced by the planet. And then someone else is making money off of water. For me, that blows my mind to get clean water to your homes and hoping that you're getting clean water to your homes because you really don't know the treatments that they're doing to your water. And so it's like all these things, it's like it doesn't have to be that way, but because of the experiences that we're having in life right now and the things we get to see, it presents opportunities for us to be like, well, I wonder how that could be better. I wonder how we could make something like that. I wonder how, and it's asking questions. And then even still, when you're presented with information, ask more questions. I didn't, but I am now. I'm asking more questions now, and I wasn't ready for it then. I'm not going to kick myself in the butt because I wasn't ready for it. It is what it is. It's where I'm at. I don't care. This is how it's flowing right now. So you just kind of turn it on and take whatever you get. Because there's a lot of valuable information flowing in and flowing at all times.
Yeah, at work, um, before I started working at the company, there was a person that had left who left on not good terms and by her own choice. And it trickled into the clients of the company, and a lot of verbal damage done. And we're still cleaning that up. And we just had an event that is to support the businesses in this specific area. And we got some feedback, not directly, indirectly got feedback about how horrible the event was and how much we're robbing people and all the things. And I was like, okay, how can we turn this around? So right along the lines of what you're saying, and this is, it was my problem. Like, how can we turn this around? Because people are so set, and they had their mindset is so set in a specific way of seeing things, that it was a burden on them, and people did this and you did that. It was total blame and all the things. And so created a thank you letter, for one, for participating in the event and the benefits of the event and what you could have done in the during the event for your business, right? It's like, you got to take some responsibility here. And so that was one of the things, like, okay, well, we have this festering thing that doesn't feel good, and how can we utilize what's being said and turn it around? So that's kind of where I feel like this is the beginning of changing that mindset. Is, okay, you're saying this, but have you seen it this way? And give them the different perspective and be the light on the situation. So that's where, and I've been saying that I've said it a handful of times over the past week or so, is how can I be the light? How can I shine light on this? How can I give this a different, how can I give people a different perspective about this and make them feel like it was valuable? Not make them feel, but show the value in it, and show the how it can be a great thing if they participated in that way, in a way that makes it great, in a way that they can see the value. And when you see the value, then you start to build on that. So that's what I'm working towards right now, and this is the beginning.
Nice.
And out of 37, 38 participants of the event, 3 of them couldn't see any good in it. So that's pretty good odds.
It is.
But I also know these 3 people don't see the good in hardly anything. They're always blaming, always seeing negative, always pessimistic. And it's like, well, okay. But the opposite of that is, I'm not the one who went around and got this feedback. It was a coworker who did. She came back to the office and was telling us. So in my head, I'm thinking, well, first of all, you made the choice to participate. Second of all, this was an opportunity for you to market your business. There were just, you got to see approximately probably over 300 people in 5 hours, that you had an opportunity to do something to invite these people to come back. Yeah, they're there for a certain reason for that event. However, how are you going to make them feel welcome to come back? Right? So just a similar experiences, just different stories.
Yeah.
So
Because we just see things differently. Before, it wouldn't have been seen that way at all. I wouldn't have, I just wouldn't have been asking the questions. And it's like, it's just asking more questions. It's because you want to have insight, because we only know what we know. And maybe they've got a better idea, or maybe they've got a better version of, that's where the creativity is. That you come in and start presenting something, then we have an opportunity to build something together, or even have an idea of what we can see in our own minds, how we can create, because that's how we create. And so by that information being shared, it's like, okay, well, and I don't know what I would do in a situation like that. Okay, universe, like how can we reach everybody, for the greatest good of all? You know, because I don't know. I have no clue, but I'm just throwing stuff out there because that's kind of what I do anymore lately. I don't go before. I'd be like praying over someone, maybe when I'm doing massage and asking for, healing to come in. It's like, it's not up to me to ask for healing to come in. It's really not, but I can facilitate that stuff. But I'll be like, okay, universe, God, how do we serve this person with this that's laying right in front of us today? How do we serve? Because I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what healing looks like for them. It might be a friendly word. It might just be a decent massage. It might be who knows, a million different things. But it's like I like to be in that space of being there to facilitate that, just because it feels good. It
Yeah.
feels because you've felt it. I've felt it when you're
Yeah.
looked into a different space.
And you use how can I serve? And I said, how can I be a light?
Yeah,
Same
and it's the
thing,
same thing.
different language.
Yeah,
Yeah. I just wanted to point that out for the audience to recognize there's a way to say the same thing in a different way.
yeah.
So
And it's so funny you say that because I even have family, which we've kind of talked about before, but family that's really about into religion and all that stuff, and they're really follow the Bible is how they live by. But when you start listening to their words, their conversations, it's the same conversations. They're just using a different terminology. That's all.
yeah.
It's the same, but it's the same meaning. It's the same feelings. It's the same when you're looking for this upliftment, or you're looking for God in your life, or you're looking for whatever it is. It's like the same. The conversations are the same, which is nice that we get to hear it in so many different ways.
Yeah. And we need to have the variety because we all hear it differently.
Yeah.
And for us to hear it, it's got to be in our language, in the words that we use or the words that we can understand in the moment. And it might start out in one way, and then after a while, you just recognize, this isn't working for me anymore. And so you're seeking something else that feels even better. And then you start hearing the same thing in a different way. And you're like, oh, that feels a lot better the way they say it. And that's
Yeah.
kind of what my path has been. So I resonated with a book at 28, and it just led me to other authors and teachers and speakers and influencers and spiritual guide, advisors and all the things. So, and I adjust along the way. And then at some point I'm like, you know what, their words don't really resonate with me anymore. And this over here feels better. So I'm going to turn over here and follow this person for a while. And then that's like, okay, well, kind of need something more different, and then somebody else comes into my life, and I'm like, okay, well, I get this, and it's a stepping stone, and you just keep making the adjustments as you go.
The book was a biography of a yogi. It just popped into my head.
It's what?
The autobiography of a yogi.
Oh yeah.
It just popped in my head. I don't even remember if it was from this one or for the last video,
It
but
was the
anyway.
last video.
Well, if you're still listening, you found out what the name of the book was.
This was the what do they call it? The traumatic moment.
That's
Where's
right.
the book? And now everybody's like, what book? She hasn't been talking about a book. That was in the last video. Just go find the other video where we're dressed the same. It's in that.
Exactly. Exactly. So funny. It's so funny. But it's a good
called
book.
what? A book of a yogi.
The autobiography of a yogi.
Autobiography of a yogi, because I can put that in the description. Autobiography. That's funny as heck. Autobiography of a yogi.
Yeah.
Do you know the author or anything, or is there an author?
Oh my gosh, I'd have to go look it up
That's
online.
okay.
I'll have to get it
I'll
back
just
to
put
you.
the book name and thing figured out. That's how I operate with this.
Yeah, I think it's Yogananda, but it's like it's an awesome. I don't know. It's just a great story. It's a great story so far. Listening to it, how we can, you know, we get these ideas in our heads and we're all ready for these things, but
Yeah.
sometimes we have to go through a little bit of growth and stuff before we're ready for the next thing, and that's kind of how he's describing this stuff. Even though he's the one that actually comes to America and does a bunch of other stuff too. I mean, creates facilities and stuff here, so.
Yeah.
Probably changed the world in a lot of ways. Get you into meditation and yoga and all these things that, I have not been finding time to do either. So it's like, it's just, I don't know. I'll figure that out.
Yeah. I get my meditation in, so
Well, I get my meditations
that's a
in.
plus.
Yeah, the meditations I do every day, but like the yoga and I mean, there's just different stuff and there's other meditations and stuff too. Gosh, trying some different ones. We were listening to I don't remember what it's called. It's a certain type of meditation and they had introduced it into prisons and stuff like that. And they had noticed a dramatic difference in people, but really and it goes back to probably the last video, right? It goes back to really paying attention to the feels. Like, most of these people have gone through lives and had all these experiences, like we've been talking about the last couple of videos, going through these experiences, and we have these examples in our life, and that's how we respond to things or react to things from anger. One of them was talking about anger, and that's one of those things I've been kind of working through, and then recognizing it's not anger because what's below anger is fear. Anger is just it's just the offshoots of fear. Everything kind of boils down to fear, right? Fear of being rejected or abandoned, not being loved, all these things. But it's like they're telling them to stop and breathe, and like they were doing 10 days, 10 hours a day for meditation. I can't even imagine. I don't have that kind of freedom in my schedule right
Hey.
now to do that. I have 6 dogs, and 3 cats. So there's not there's not that kind of I don't have that right this moment. But for doing it for 10 days, but they've said they would notice a dramatic difference because they stopped. And to be in that breath and to recognize the emotions that when you're in meditation, you might feel irritated, agitated, especially when you're first starting out, anxious, like, what am I doing sitting here and all this stuff? And it's not to get up and walk away from it, but it's like to sit and breathe in it, like to sit and feel it. Oh, and then what he would say during this meditation, he might say body, he might say noise, he might say emotion, whatever. So he's labeling each one of the things. And when you think about that, this is helping you really become present, right? You're right in the now, but you're also noticing the things that trip your trigger. You're also noticing the things, even without it being tripped from outside of you, because there's a lot of emotional stuff when you sit still. And that's why a lot of people don't sit still. One of the gals in my little group that we have right now, she's like, every time I love the meditations, the guided meditations, but every time we get to a certain point, I start getting like super frustrated because they want to control and do all this stuff. And she's had to go through, she's presented things and we've just kind of worked through things. This is the next move. This is the next place to make it feel where you don't feel those emotions anymore, but they do get better. And then you've talked about always have a notebook near your hands, ready to go. We're we're over halfway through freaking December. And by the time this comes out, we'll probably already have been through it. It's like, it's really a good time to start thinking about setting up your 12 months for next year, right? Your 12 months as far as your reading, because we like to do it. We'll do it with 2 decks, one that has like a word or something that we can use at the top for that month. And then you have your tarot deck that you use that will give you information that you can gain your information from it, and you can put it down each month, which we've been doing that for. This will be the 5th year, I think. Is that right?
I think so. Yeah.
I have to go back to my Bible.
We've been
I think
doing
this was,
tea time for 4.5 years.
so it's probably 4 years then. But it's really valuable. I mean, it really is. And so it's like I keep forgetting to even tell just people that I talk to on a regular basis. now's a good time to do that. Now's a good time to start setting yourself for next year, and then kind of be excited about looking forward to our future. Be excited. Ever since you told me, what if this is my best day ever? What if this is my best day ever? That's what I say every day. And then because I'm talking to my team, I might be like, hey team, what if this is our best day ever? Like, what does that look like? To get into that excitement space, to be in the meditations and to feel. I had a guided meditation the other night that she was telling me, like, really go into that heart space and feel gratitude for everything. And at first, when you're doing some of that stuff, you might not feel it as much. But as you keep going and going and going, you like start feeling. I was freaking on fire. I was like lit up. And then I wonder why I can't sleep. But because I was, that like you've talked about before, there are certain meditations you probably don't want to do at night before you go to sleep. But
Right.
and I'm okay with it too, because I'm like, I'll tell spirit, like, okay, listen, the body can sleep and get its rest, but we're going to go do stuff. And I want to be present. I want to have an awareness of this. Like, I want to know. And so when I wake up in the morning, like I've said in the last video, I have wake up in the morning and I'm being told, be aware, just awareness, observe, like all the time. And it's like every time I would start to notice that I would like something might kind of catch me and rub me the wrong way, I'd hear observe. I'm like, okay, I'm observing. Oh, look at me observing me having an attitude over here. It's like, so it's all these different things, but it's like I've been guided, and it's like it's the more that I ask for these things, the more that it is beneficial, the more that it is able to come out. I am able to be different. I can react differently. I can respond differently. I can go into my space of meditation, which I do. I do it all the time. I mean, every day, sometimes a couple of times a day, but every day. So it's just being in that space, and these are all the benefits that help, especially when we get a little bit kind of caught up in knowing we're about to close out a year and we're about to come into a new space, which it's only time, guys. It's only time, but it's like maybe sometimes it's easier that way for us to kind of see where how we've grown. Well, like I was this way 4 months ago, and now I'm this way. And I feel, you can totally feel it. Things are different. You flow differently.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know what else to say at this point. It's like I've said it all for tonight, for this moment, whatever time of day it is.
Go meditate.
Yeah, go meditate. Probably not if it's nighttime, not an energizing. If you want to rest, you want a relaxing meditation.
True.
Yeah. And yeah, I've been listening to Hertz music for different reasons. So it could be for Hertz music for focus or anxiety or calmness or prosperity. Yeah, just listen to Hertz because there's different tones. I do that frequently when I go to bed at night when I'm sleeping, or subliminal messages while I sleep, or hypnosis, sleep hypnosis. I've done that too. And I do that on one of those on a regular. It just depends on how I'm feeling, what I feel like listening to on a regular.
Nice.
When I go to bed. So, and I feel for me, it's been very beneficial because several times for quite some time I was listening to hypnosis, sleep hypnosis for confidence and empowerment and things like that. So it works, and it works well if you stay with it and allow it, because it takes over a period of time, with consistent listening, that it really does provide a lot of good benefits. So
I like it.
I know, it's cool. So many great tools and techniques and modalities that are so beneficial and readily available to us. I mean, seriously, look it up on YouTube all the time. So
Me too. Whatever pops into my head. I mean, it can be any type of meditation you're looking for.
Yeah.
If you want to meditate to meet your guides or your angels or Archangel Michael, or there's like whatever. You want to go meet a dragon? Go for it. Like, there's everything out there. Honestly, there's everything, and it's right at our fingertips. And you just know, you check in with yourself. Like, how does this resonate with you? And some people, I can't, I just can't. And then other people, it's like, oh, I love this type of,
Yeah.
I love her voice. And it doesn't matter if you fall asleep because you're still gaining information out of it.
Yeah.
You don't have to, like, we're still present, or maybe our body just zoned out. You're still receiving information.
Oh, I get excited when I see how long I listen to it. So far, my longest one is like 5 hours and 20 minutes.
Nice.
I was like, what? Holy smokes. So anyway, all right, friends. Thanks for hanging out with us. We value your time. We appreciate your time. It's one of the most valuable things that we can give is time for other people, and especially for ourselves. So be sure to take time for yourself. And if these conversations are helping you, resonating with you, be sure to have them with your friends and family, because there are other people out there that are seeking information like this. And whether it's Tea Time with Amy and Bev, or it's some other podcast or book or somebody you listen to, be resourceful and give them the information and let them do with it what they will. Because we all know we can't make somebody do something that we know would be beneficial. Trust me, I've tried a lot.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. So we're just resourceful. Here's the link, here's the book, here's the person, here's the author, here's the teacher, whatever it might be. And just hand it over and let them do what they will with it. So with that, Tea Time with Amy and Bev, we're found on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, and I think that's it. There's a lot. So we're many platforms where you can access our content. So with that, thank you for hanging out with us. Tea Time with Amy and Bev, and we will see you next time.
Okay. Have a wonderful day.